Hi guys, this is Gene Jensen with BassResource.com again. Today we're going to do a video on bank fishing. I've had a lot of you guys email me and text me and so on and so forth requesting a bank fishing video. So it's been so long since I've had an opportunity to bank fish. I contacted my buddy Ryan, and he still does it all the time. You know, there's a couple lakes right down from his apartment that he goes to all the time. And he's actually won a couple of tournaments bank fishing when he was a junior Bassmaster. So who better to go to than somebody that's got more experience than I do? So he's gonna go through his tackle, and then we're gonna do a little bit of fishing and talk about techniques and things like that. Go ahead.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Ryan from Bass Resource. I'm Senko 77 on there, and today we're going to be talking about little bank fishing and the best way to carry your tackle and kind of some tactics to help you guys catch a couple when you guys are stuck on the bank and don't have a boat. But anyway, the whole goal of bank fishing is you want to be able to, you know, as fishermen, we all want to have as many baits as possible to feel confident. And you know, you're stuck out in the water and you feel like, oh, I left that bait at home. And it can be frustrating. So I want to talk to you guys on how I carry my stuff and make it easy, because when you're bank fishing, you don't want to be lugging around a bunch of stuff and be uncomfortable and have to have a bunch of fishing rods and a bunch of tackles. So the best thing you can do, backpack. I doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you want a bigger backpack, go for it. You can carry more tackle. But I set up my system really simple. First thing is I have my side pockets here. I, usually keep some snacks in one side, some sunflower seeds, a little water. On my left side here, I always make sure I carry my scents, little Mega Strike, and always make sure you got a bottle of JJ's Magic. And what I do is I like a backpack with two pockets. I like to have one big main pocket, and then I have the second smaller pocket. And on the front pocket here, what I do is I make sure that I carry stuff like my scale. Always make sure I have a pair of pliers. I like these little Rapala pliers. They got a little crooked tip there where it's a little easier to get a gut hook fish out. A lot of times when you're bank fishing, you'll run into bluegill, and a pair of forceps are really good for that. I also like to have a pair of heavy-duty cutters if you're fishing with braided line, if you need to cut something a little heavier. So that's usually what I keep in my main pocket up front here. Sometimes you guys can carry a little pair of scissors, whatever you have for dealing with your line and dealing with getting fish off. So I usually keep that in the front pocket. I like to eat a lot, so if I carry some extra snacks, that's kind of good for that. And then as far as tackle goes, that's what I kind of stuff this main compartment with. And I've had a lot of years to kind of experiment with what works best, and what I found works best for me is I carry one bag for soft plastics, and I carry 4 smaller size Plano boxes. And how I do it is my personal favorite for the soft plastics is I know a lot of you guys are members of Bassmaster Magazine. Well, if you look at the little flyer in Bassmaster Magazine, you'll see a renewal gift, and they're these little Bass member bags, and these things are awesome. The way I got them is I got one bag for renewing my membership, and every other bag that I have is on Bass Resource. I went to the marketplace part of the forum, and I just asked people. Tons of people have these, and nobody uses them, and I love them. So the great thing about these bags is they can double as 2 things. Number 1, they can hold your soft plastics, which is what I use them for, and number 2, you can fit these Plano boxes in them. These bags right here will carry 4 of these, and you still have a zippered pocket up front if you want to carry a couple extra soft plastics. This is a great idea if you don't have a backpack, but if you have a backpack, you can use them to really get a bunch of tackle in there. So anyway, I use the main compartment of my bag.
You can go down to the ground.
To carry, worms. The way I have mine set up is I put all my craws and all my jig trailers and my Senkos, my stick style baits, up in this front pocket here, and then in the main pocket, you can see, you can fit tons and tons of bags in here. I probably have, 25, 30 bags of plastic in there. It's just endless, and I kind of categorize them. I make sure that one section is my straight tail worms, one section is lizards, one section is craws, and so, it kind of makes it easier access. Pick a couple colors you like, and many soft plastics you can stuff in here, use it up. And then in this front pocket here, you can see I got my Senkos, you know, I got different cross style baits and jig trailers, got a couple flukes in there. You know, just kind of pack your bag the way you like to fish, you know, your favorite colors, your favorite styles, make sure you pack them up. And underneath those, I have 4 of these Plano tackle boxes. Now this amount of tackle will fit in any size book bag. You don't need anything special. You know, I got 1 box here set for just terminal tackle. You can, you know, get these little boxes. They come with tons of the dividers, and you can have your weights, you can have your hooks. And one of the things that I do is I went to a Staples store, or you can go to any kind of office supply store and get these little tabs, these paper tabs. They're sticky, and you can write the weight that you have. I have, you know, different size hooks, and so these little boxes hold a ton of stuff. And so you know, have one for terminal tackle, have you know, I got 2 of them in here for hard baits. I got rattle traps in one of these boxes, and then I have the other box with jerk baits, and I have some top waters in there, and then I have another box for jigs, which is right here. So as you can see, with a backpack, you really can have a lot of tackle. I mean, I have enough tackle in this backpack to cover any situation that I'm really going to encounter when I'm bank fishing. So anyway, get you a book bag, get you a couple of small soft plastics bags to stuff your soft plastics in. I don't know, I'm trying this size Plano, I don't know the exact size of it, but I would say, what do you think? This is maybe
421.
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah.
It's a 3601. The 3701 is the real skinny 3700 box. The 3601 is the real skinny 3600 box.
Yeah.
So anything that says 01 at the end, you know it's going to be this real skinny one.
You can see how skinny it is. You don't need
fit them in a lot of places.
You don't need those the wider boxes. You really waste a lot of space with those. So, like I said, if you can get these Bassmaster Magazine bags, you can hold 4 of these in each one of your bags. So, you know, my system, like I said before, I have 4 of these boxes underneath that soft plastic bag, and then I stuff that with soft plastics, and I'm never going to run into a situation where I don't have a bait ready for. So throw them in your book bag, get you a couple waters, get you a couple snacks.
What about your rods?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go through your rods. Let's see what
you. And really, you know, when you're bank fishing, you don't want to bring a lot of stuff with you. I usually carry just 2 rods. I always make sure I have a spinning rod. I know a lot of guys call these fairy wands, but really, I mean, when you're fishing these small ponds, a lot of times you're not going to really encounter a lot of big bass. There's not going to be a lot of numbers of them. So, you know, I just use, I believe this is a 2500 series reel.
Wait a minute. Guys, this is coming from a kid who caught a 14-pound bass bank fishing. So, yeah, you'll encounter some big ones.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just when you're fishing a tournament, you're looking for populations of big bass. You know, when you're bank fishing, you're just there to relax and have a good time. And you know, as far as what I do, anything that bites, I'm happy for. You know, and so spinning rods can cover anything from bluegill all the way to my biggest bass is 14 pounds 7 ounces, and I caught that on a spinning reel with 8-pound line. So you don't need the big heavy equipment that you use when you're tournament fishing. So I always make sure that I carry a spinning reel with me. I like braid. It's really multi-purpose. If you're fishing real clear water, you know, take your braid and throw a fluorocarbon leader on there. And you know, this is really all you need. I mostly fish with spinning reels when I'm fishing from the bank. You know, you can carry a bait caster with you. You can carry as many rods as you want, but for me, when I'm bank fishing, I really just like to keep it simple. I usually carry 1 spinning rod, usually carry 1 bait casting rod, and that's all I really need. So anyway, we're going to, in the next part of this video, we're going to show you guys how we fish the ponds and we bank fish.
All right. Now, what I'm going to talk about is I want to talk about technique of bank fishing. One thing I learned about, Ryan just got a bite. One thing I learned about years ago, I think I was watching a Bill Dance video. Bill Dance explained the technique of fan casting. Okay? And what fan casting is, you come up to a bank like this and you divide, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, one of those oriental fans. You start casting to cover your area in a fan pattern. Now, it's not from there to there to there to there to there to there all the way around. One thing I learned that is most bass, or a lot of bass, like to hang real shallow. So you're going to start out throwing here to this side. You're going to work this side of the bank, then you're going to cast out and you're going to work that side. And then you're going to work your way around in that fan pattern. Excuse me, and work that area. The kind of places, what are some of the kind of places you look for when you're fishing a bank, Ryan? What do you try to fish? Structure
Basically,
and cover wise.
most of the ponds you're gonna bank fish on, really they're kind of void of any, major bass holding structure. When we fish the big lakes, you're looking for, the ledges, you're looking for big humps, you're looking for rock piles. When you're fishing these ponds, little nuances can be what holds a lot of bass. And, a lot of things you'll encounter in small ponds is you're gonna encounter grass. Sometimes it can seem kind of overwhelming because there's so much grass in these small lakes. Look for little things. Look for, where the grass kind of forms a point. Look for where the grass kind of forms a little, a dip in the grass. Look for wood in the grass. If there's a lay down that's laying down, anything that's a little bit different than the surrounding areas, try and fish because there's usually going to be a bass sitting on them. And what Gene was saying with the fan casting thing, I mean, anywhere in a small pond that you're bank fishing is liable to hold a bass. So hit everything, and as you fish certain ponds, you'll learn where those bass tend to sit, and you'll have an easier time as you keep going to places and learning it just a little bit more.
Yeah, some of the cover that I like to fish along the bank is like Ryan was saying, little points that the grass creates. I mean, when I'm out in the middle of a lake like Lake Guntersville on a boat, I'm looking for a grass line that's not straight. I want a grass line that's have all kinds of curves and points in it, because that's the one that's going to have the most active fish in it, because they're going to come out to those points and sit there and wait to ambush whatever's swimming by. And same thing with a bank. If a bank is just straight, got a straight grass line, you may catch one or two fish there, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time there. Another thing I look for is laydowns. You got trees laying down in the bank. I'm going to work those really carefully. Something that I forgot to cover that I normally do with bank fishing. This is not what you want to wear bank fishing. Bright colors. When I bank fish, I actually I'll wear camouflage. I'll have a somewhat of a camouflage hat on, something like that, because these fish, I want them to be right here to make them easy to catch. But if they're there, they're going to see me. I learned that trick actually trout fishing in, where was I? Oregon one time with a buddy of mine, and I was absolutely waylaying him on this little bitty creek, and I was following him up and catching I caught like 6 to his 1. And then halfway through the day, he's like, Gene, what is going on? Why are you catching more fish than me? And I looked at him and I said, Trent, it's because you have that white cowboy hat on. And he did. He had a white cowboy hat on, and I had a green hat on. And I said, those trout can see you from a mile away. And, just go ahead and hold up an orange flag and scare all the fish away is basically what you're doing when you wear a red hat like this bank fishing.
And another thing to add to what Gene is saying, that's absolutely correct, is you want to wear, those neutral colors, kind of blend into your background. Kind of like, I'm not really big into hunting, but
because he's not a redneck.
I know a lot of people when they hunt, they wear the camouflage to kind of blend into their surroundings. Another thing to add on to what Gene is saying is, as far as your voice goes, it doesn't matter how much noise you make, that's audible. What really is important with bank fishing is walk quietly, walk softly, because those bass that are along the bank, they can feel their lateral line. Everyone, when we fish, we throw baits that appeal to their lateral line, rattle traps, crankbaits, spinner baits. They can feel that stuff. Well, they can feel when you're walking. And so when you come walking down the bank and you're stomping your feet, they know you're there. So walk softly, and that's something that really, when I was younger, someone taught me that, and that has been huge for bank fishing, because when you really just have a soft step, they don't know you're there. They have a lot less of a chance of getting spooked off by your footsteps. So just make sure you're, don't have to worry about, just like me and Gene are talking here, you can talk in a regular voice. It's not a big deal. They can't hear that, but they can feel your footsteps. So just make sure you, just kind of be stealthy.
Well, that's about all I got. You got anything else, Ryan? That's all I can think of.
You want to talk a little bit about baits? What we throw in ponds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about baits.
As number one, for me, I don't know about you, but I most of the time when I bank fish, it's going to be spring through fall. And the two baits that have been the biggest producer for me since I've started bank fishing is I have one rod rigged with a Senko or any style stick bait. If you want to throw the Yum Dinger, if you want to throw a cane stick from Big Bite Baits, when it comes to tournament time, personally I like the Gary Yamamoto Senko, but when I'm bank fishing, I'm just there to have fun. Throw whatever stick bait you want to throw, it doesn't matter. So I'll have that on my spinning reel. The other bait that has been massively successful for me is a toad style bait. I like the Zoom Horny Toad. But you know, the Yum Buzz Frog, there's all sorts of different style toad baits, and even a hollow body works pretty good. But the Senko and the soft plastic frog has been just a two-pronged attack that has always really worked for me. And I think it has to do with the fact that a lot of these small lakes have grass. What have you found works best out here?
Oh shoot, just whatever you're confident in is the biggest thing. Ryan's got his confidence baits. Mine are, I love a floating worm. You know, something that I can work through grass, work through just about anything, and if I need to let it sink, it's going to sink slowly. Same sort of thing as a Senko. Just something that can come through cover really easy. I'll throw a spinnerbait a lot if we got a lot of open cover and I feel like they're in the mood to chase something. Spinnerbait's good because it's virtually snag proof if you know how to fish it right. You know, you don't want to stop it halfway over top of a stick because it's going to get hung on it every time.
The good bait, if you are fishing the spinnerbaits, I no affiliation with them, but the Booyah Pond Magic and the War Eagle Finesse Bait, they're two really small spinnerbaits, and as far as numbers go, they're awesome.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I want to add real quick, just to the end of this, is a lot of times you see people bank fishing. They let the fish, when they land a bass, they let it flop all over the grass. Do your best when you hook a bass, when you're bank fishing, or any fish for that matter, to go down close to the water's edge, lip the fish, and bring him up. When you let a fish land in the grass and flop around, it's going to take off his slime coat. You know, when you catch a bass, you can feel the slime coming off his side. That's their protection against infection in the water. And a lot of times when you let a bass flop around on the ground, it'll remove their slime coat, and they have a chance of not being able to be able to make it too long when they get back in the water. So I realize that, you know, sometimes you're going to have fish that fall out of your hands, or, you know, they're going to come up on the bank, they're going to drop off the hook. But try your best to, you know, hold them right and make sure they don't get on the ground, and, you know, you can release them and let someone else catch them, and just have a good time. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, nothing bothers me more than seeing a picture of a fish laying on the ground next to the rod.
The muddy fish.
The muddy fish. It just drives me nuts. But like I always say, visit bassresource.com for the answer to all your questions. I'd like to thank Ryan for helping me out with this one. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. And have a great day.
See you guys. Have a good one.